So
Move to
moved.
approve.
And second,
I don't know if I was the motion or the second, but if I wasn't the motion, I'll be the second.
that works for me. All right, we have an approved agenda. Okay, so Dr. Sampson, it is up to you with the blueprint status update.
Well, hello, everyone, and a lot has happened since our last meeting. And we are currently preparing for Board of Education presentation next week, just to give some updates. So some of which you all will get first before we do that next week. But some good news is that we have submitted the budget for our career counseling program. We received AIB approval, as you might remember, back in March. And then there was a conditional piece to that where we had to have the agreed upon MOU with Tri-County Council for Southern Maryland and CSM on our career counseling program. Then we submitted the agreed upon MOU, and then we got feedback that they wanted the budget. And then there was some hang up there going back and forth with Tri-County Council on the budget. Finally got that agreed and submitted last week. So we are all done in terms of requirements and things that are due to the AIB. We also submitted our tutoring report on Friday, September 1st, our required report for that. We met as a steering committee last week, and for those of you who may not know, we have a couple of changes. So we added Mark Willis to the steering committee so that there's a representative from this committee on our steering committee, and then Mr. Willis can bring back information as necessary for this team. Additionally, Mr. Sandy Walker has left CCPS, and so I will be taking over as the Pillar 4 chairperson until his replacement is named. And then we will bring that person along slowly, and then I'll transition out of that role. Additionally, Mr. James Kurtz has transitioned from the Pillar 5 chair, and that is now Matt Poteet, who is the Director of Instructional Technology. And so he will be working with that team and carrying on the work as chairperson for Pillar 5. Couple of things coming up. Our team is working on questions and a protocol for engaging staff. We're going to do some staff focus groups. We're targeting November for that, for each pillar to get staff feedback on particular areas of next phase of implementation, how the work impacts their job, and their thoughts and suggestions on those things. So it also will serve to help us gain some insight into the next phase of our writing, which will be a 3-year plan due this coming March. But we don't have any outcome measures yet from MSDE or the AIB, so we don't know what the next phase of writing is supposed to look like and what the requirements are. We just know that we're supposed to be more forward thinking and talking more about what we are changing moving forward. So how will things look different in Calvert County as opposed to what do we currently have in place? So next piece is we have our National Board Certification information session tonight, and personal invitations were sent to some staff as well, because what we're really trying to do is diversify and expand our national board teacher workforce. It's no secret that all of our national board teachers are women. And so we also have a majority of Caucasian women who are national board certified. So we want to make that number more representative of the students in our district. And so trying to get more males and more teachers of color in that candidate pool in hopes of having more diverse national board certified teachers. So we sent some invitations out, principals made recommendations as well. And then it is open to all teachers in the county. And so invitations did go to everybody, but then specific invitations went to teachers who were targeted, suggested by their principal.
Dr. Sampson, what does your response rate look like?
I'll know tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, we'll know tonight, and that meeting's at 5 o'clock. So I will be happy to report out once we have that. We did also expand the position just posted, our national board facilitator position. Last year we had 4 facilitators. They are all returning, so I'm happy about that. We do have the funds to hire 9, so I'm looking to hire 5 more if we can do so. I've already had 2 new teachers apply. So excited that we will be able to expand the support for our candidates once we get into that process. Let's see, a couple other things. Let me entertain any questions or comment before I move forward to these last 2 pieces. Nothing? Okay. So we are waiting for an official approved list of schools from the AIB that will be part of the review process by the expert review team. There was a state board meeting a couple of weeks ago, and some information was put out that was not approved by the AIB. And so as a result, we are asked to not go by that list that was provided, and we are waiting for the approved list so that we can then communicate with our principals and schools which schools will be reviewed this year. But we do anticipate having some on that list that will be reviewed. And then lastly, the AIB has provided funding to each LEA to hire, and the AIB is doing the hiring, but hire a strategic facilitator. And that's part of the technical assistance grant. And the role of the strategic facilitator is to help us as a county think differently. So what may happen is that person may be invited to this meeting, to our steering committee meetings, to have conversations and just think about what we currently have in place, and an additional ear and an outside ear and eye to help us think about ways that we can approach implementation differently than we're doing right now. So it will not be a current Calvert County employee. This person will be outside of the system. That is one of the requirements of the position.
Mr. Sampson, I'm sorry that your microphone seemed to have gotten somewhat muffled, unless it's on my end.
No, it was muffled across.
How's it now?
That's better.
Okay. I moved my notebook and I might have covered it up. So I apologize for that. So did you hear that last piece, or do I need to repeat it? Because I can.
Why don't you repeat it, Joe, please?
So the AIB has provided funds for each school system to bring in strategic facilitators, and their role is to provide technical assistance in our implementation with the lens of someone who is outside of the school system, and provide ideas and thoughts about changes that could be implemented in accordance with blueprint law to improve our system.
Thank you.
And that's all the updates I have.
Joe, back to those schools that are going to be selected
Yep.
for the expert review teams. Are those schools being selected by the state, or is that a county decision?
It's not a county decision. There's a rubric that determines how schools and what schools are selected. And there are 6 indicators. You have, and I'm just giving you the examples because I don't remember it off the top of my head, but you have lowest performing, highest performing, lowest growth. There are a couple different things, and then one of them is random selection. Otherwise not falling into, so random selection, not otherwise falling into one of the other categories.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, I see none. Okay, so that moves us down into old business. Public awareness campaign update. Is there anything new with that, or?
No, nothing new at this point. And I had a question for Mr. Willis, but I will ask him that directly,
Okay.
related to future projects. Should we want to make another video?
Absolutely. All you have to do is let us know. We'll get that team on board.
Yeah. But the question is more so geared to funding and what that looks like.
Okay. I'll let him know you have a question.
All right.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about public awareness campaign? Nope. Okay. I think we've gone through timeline and deliverables. Is there anything to add to that, Dr. Sampson?
No, we're just waiting. We're waiting for our outcome measures. The hope is that sometime during the month of September, we will get that so that then we have something to work with. Our next school system steering committee meeting is the 25th of September, at which time we will have established a protocol for the staff focus group meetings, and then also outlined remaining pillar team meetings for the year. But that's pretty much it. Phase 2 of the plan, again, due March 15th. So once we get everything in order, then we'll be able to start that process. I think Mr. Navarro had a question.
Yeah, Dr. Sampson, could you maybe talk a little bit about what these listening sessions in the schools might look like? We're going to be in feeder schools and focus on a pillar, and the focus is on listening with some predetermined questions. I know we're still developing that.
Yeah, so just like Mr. Navarro said, so we talked about feeder school patterns, and the pillar chairs are developing their questions now. So for example, we may ask a group of teachers from the central zone, what does an effective 3-year-old program look like in the public school system? How can CCPS partner with local daycare providers to support access to pre-kindergarten? What supports do you need as an instructional assistant to achieve the required certification? Those are just examples. We are gonna, and additionally, the idea is that we'll have each pillar chair attend the meeting for his or her pillar, serving as the facilitator. We'll have a note taker, a moderator, and other roles that would be defined by folks who would be in attendance just to make sure that things flow. And then responses, notes being taken, participants would be assured that responses are anonymous. So whatever they provide, the information they give us, we're not recording names, so that they can speak freely.
Thank you, Joe.
Any questions about that part? Okay, I see none. I see no one on here from the public, so I will spare my speech. If there is anyone here from the public, can you please speak up or raise your hand now? Okay, no public comment today. So that brings us to closing comments. So we will start with Pamela Cousins. Any closing comments or questions?
Thank you for the update today, Dr. Sampson. The only thing I want to add is I feel like
Pam, we can't hear you.
I think that's why she was asking.
Mr. Navarro, can you mute?
Can you
Thank
hear me?
you.
Ruthie, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Oh, did you not hear anything?
We could, I believe because Mr. Navarro had someone speaking to him, it was overriding you.
Oh, okay. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Sampson, and I wanted to add that I believe just based on the network that I'm in, the public awareness campaigns for the Blueprint is pretty successful. I feel like those I've encountered have still have questions, but they know where the resources are. They've seen resources and they've seen the communication, they've seen the invitations to come to listening sessions. So I think that's been pretty effective. That's the only thing I wanted to add.
Awesome, thank you. Melissa is still not with us today. Donna Estinzo?
Thanks, Ruthie. No, I don't have any closing comments. Thank you.
Whoops, I need to unmute. Thank you, Donna. Wilson Perrin.
I have no closing comments. Thank you.
All right, Michael Schisler.
Just to thank you to Dr. Sampson again for keeping this ball moving. Thank you.
Joanna Stallings, I don't know if your mic was fixed, but we'd love to hear from you.
I think it's working now. So sorry for my technical difficulties. And besides that, no comment.
Awesome. Stacy Taman.
Sorry, I should have been more prepared. I do not have any comments.
Awesome. I do not. Tony Navarro
Nope, none at this.
and John Norris.
Just thank you to Dr. Sampson for all the information.
All right, so Dr. Sampson, you may bring us home.
I'm looking forward to being able to present this group with more information on our career counseling program. There are some things that we're putting in motion now. So you can expect in November to get a full report on our career counseling program, because we anticipated getting started here at the end of September.
Awesome. There's no further business, and we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Have a wonderful day.
See ya.
You too, thanks.
So.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ruthie. Bye-bye.
Thank you.